Okay, I don't want to wait. Let's do it. Alright, hello everyone, anyone watching, welcome to tonight's stream. We're starting a little bit later than usual because I've been, needed some time to do some tweaking on my own. Sorry, just organizing papers here. There we go. But yeah, welcome to tonight's stream. I'm Eric, I'm the editor, this is my company, my channel, welcome, and thank you for joining. Tonight we're going to be jumping back into B52, still working on that project, still working on the kind of our opening character introduction scene. Hopefully we get through to the end of that tonight, at least a rough version of it. And yeah, as always, this is a platform. The reason I stream my editing is primarily because I want to pull the curtain back on it. Editing is such a hugely important part of the filmmaking process, but often doesn't really get talked about, doesn't really get noticed, and a lot of people both in and out of the industry don't really know what goes on in the edit suite. So that's what we're doing here. We're going to talk about the choices that I make in crafting a story. Talk about the things I, as an editor, look for, the things that I change, the things that I keep, so on and so forth. Hopefully, if you're interested in filmmaking, this is a cool look inside a part of the process that doesn't really get talked about much. If you are a filmmaker, and you're like, if you have thoughts on editing, please share them. If you're new to editing, or you don't have a huge handle on it, please feel free to comment on that. And please feel free to ask questions if there's anything I can teach in any way. Not saying I'm qualified, but saying I'm happy to talk a lot. And yeah, if you're an actor, or you're someone who is usually on the other side of the camera, this might be interesting just to get a sense of what's going on, post production. When you finish a shoot, you send the project off, and next time you see it's at the premiere or at the when it goes online. This is what happens. So yeah, with that I think said, we're gonna go ahead and jump back into Premiere. I don't think we've been very fortunate the last couple times to have Elena Critter, the director of this project, join us. I don't think she's joining us tonight or this week. I know she's got several things lined up that are drawing her attention, and that's fine. Someone as busy and talented as she is, I'm just glad we get her when we do. So anyway, we're gonna be in Premiere. One of the reasons I'm behind a little bit is because, or I'm starting later than usual. I wouldn't say I'm behind. I feel like I'm behind because I wanted to have these scenes done sooner, but editing is editing, and it's gonna do its thing. Especially on a project like this, where I've got it's weird. The two reasons I found that projects usually take a long time in terms of dealing with the footage, because there's a million reasons why projects might take a long time, but one of the reasons, the two main reasons I've noticed when it comes to sitting and actually doing the edit is, one, if you have a project that kind of you didn't follow the script as much, it was a little more freeform, a little more improv, which is not in and of itself a bad thing. But when you're doing a lot of story crafting, that can be a reason why I gotta stop looking at the viewer count. It's fucking with my head. Yeah. So if you're doing story crafting in the edit, that can take a while because you really are trying to build some stuff from scratch, or from closer to scratch than usual. The other thing in this case is, and this is a good problem to have, but this cast, these two actors are so phenomenally talented that it ends up being that I really do want to have to take the time to explore every possibility, because there are, in some cases, when actors, and this is not a slight against actors who are not as versatile as these two are, who didn't put in the work that these two did, because Elena did do a ton of rehearsal with them. But sometimes there is only one right way to edit a film. Like, sometimes there is only one. You can look at, all right, we only have certain takes that work. We only have certain takes that really connect, and that's a thing. In this case, we have actors who not only know their characters cold, but they also Um, like they're also able to be versatile within their characters. So there are versions of this movie, like just slight tweaks that I can make by picking one take over the other, that it turns more into a comedy, or it turns a little more farcical, or we lose the stakes, or we get or it becomes a completely serious movie. uh movie, man. Why I'm just gonna take this microphone off and just stare at the screen for the rest of the stream. But yeah, that's it's there are various. In this case, both these actors gave us really good performances, and every take was slightly different and had some slight versatility to it, or a lot of versatility to it, but some slight tweaks to it. So I am so what I've been doing, so I am pushing myself to fine tune each moment, make sure I really lock in the right beat. Why is there just a tiny little moment there? Oh, that's just an extension.
This is just like Dateline.
Okay, not sure why there's a cut there. There does not need to be a cut there. Let's get rid of that cut there. Just bring this back. There we go.
This is just like Dateline.
What? No.
Okay, cool. So, yeah. So so I've been tweaking this. I've adjusted some of the stuff we worked on last time, and I've kind of fleshed out the timing, switched out some of the takes, to kind of make it feel like it flows better. But yeah, so here's what I'm gonna try to do tonight. I'm just trying to blow through the rest of the edit on this scene. I'm gonna try to really get through this scene, and then I'm gonna come back and talk about framing. So that's kind of gonna be tonight's lesson is framing. I've switched out this take for the one last time that we talked about. If you were watching last time, I was agonizing over which take do I go with. Do I go with the one that moves in on him immediately, or the one that stayed on her? I'll let this play. I'm gonna mute it. And I originally moved it on him quicker because I felt I loved this shot, but this shot felt like it was about both of them. In this moment, we want to focus on him. But now I think this shot, it's held long enough that we can move it on him. We can wonder what he's thinking, and then have her come in. And this becomes, when we see her walking back, but she doesn't automatically talk to him, it gives us a nice, that suspense is still there. I think this works. I also know we have a shot later that's going to mirror this, and so I kind of want to let this land. I kind of want to let this framing, specifically, like kind of the divide, not down the middle, but the divide on the third, and really like let this foreground action, background action divide land. So when we hit that later shot in a much more heightened moment, this framing sticks with us. So that's kind of why I've switched it. Let's also look at the other small. I switched out some of his reaction shots. Let's watch the end of this, or the next part of it.
I saw you at the tree line. I would have let you in myself. You are to miss. What? No, stay.
Ma'am, all due respect.
You dropped your wallet.
Good. Okay, cool. So that's where we're at. I gave him a close-up reaction shot here because I shortened this.
I saw you at the tree line.
I kind of switched out the timing when we see who. I switched this so now we see him say, "You saw me."
You are to miss. What? No, stay.
Ma'am.
Yeah, switched out this shot. There were two takes that were very similar. There's one where he just kind of, like this one, where he just takes the pause and says, "Okay," holds her beat, "I'm done." And there's the other one where he was like, "Okay, I'm done," and he did it vocally. And I think this one plays better because it's got this. Without him making the noise, I spend and this is partially because I'm overanalyzing this, but I spend a little more time wondering what's going on in his head,
What? No.
and seeing him make that decision. That's kind of it's a rule that I think is easily forgotten in terms of when we cut to who, but like you cut to people when you need to see when they do things that are important. So like.
I saw you at the tree line. I would have let you in myself.
adjust the framing on this shot. We're going to talk about this in a second. I'm going to bring this down to about there. Actually, honestly, I'd like to bring it lower. How low can I go with this shot? That's about as far as I can go. So let's go to about there, a little bit low. Oh, that works really well.
I saw you at the tree line. I would have let you in myself. You are hard to miss.
That might be too subtle. It might be too much of a
No,
problem, but
stay.
I'll tweak it. Okay, we'll see. We'll talk about that when I talk about reframing. Okay, let's continue this. Let's blow through this. As a warning, I might not talk as much as I try to go through this, just because sometimes I have found that if I talk too much, I lose the thread of what's going on, and I don't want to do that. So, yeah, I'm gonna try to just kind of blow through it, talk if I need to. That's the shot we might use, but I think we're keeping most of this here. I'm gonna talk for 1 second. I just said I was gonna try to edit some more, and then now I'm talking. Let's see. I'm gonna talk about one choice that I've already made real quick. And as you know, we can't talk about choices till we understand them. That is what we learned from The Matrix. This is other takes of her that we're not sure we're using. This is B-roll that I might cut back into in another pass. If you remember, we had a bunch of shots of that were kind of from this angle. We had this close up here that ran the whole scene. Then we had a wide shot that same deal ran the whole scene, and we. Me and Elena was on stream the other night, and Elena and I kind of agreed that like this angle for the majority of it really doesn't fit within the world. It kind of hurts the tension because it was a very proscenium flat thing that didn't tell us anything. So we cut it down. We've only kept. I'm not even sure we're going to use this, but having the one moment where she hands them the wallet, giving them this 1-2 shot together, and this is technically their first 2 shot. I'll talk about that when I get to, because the next scene starts with a big 2 shot. Next scene is nothing but 2 shots. So that's kind of my argument for keeping this moment, if we do or not. But we'll see where that goes. But the reasons, there's a moment here where he's going to pull out a knife on her, and there's definitely some merit to the idea of keeping the having him open the knife in a shot like this, so you can see him, the knife, and her, and see her not flinch, because that's something that shot gives us that these other shots are not going to. But for a couple reasons, I think I'm going to go against it. One, I don't think we're going to use that shot, even though yes, that's seeing her not flinch is a good thing to see, and like seeing that she's not like seeing that she's not surprised or not like she doesn't flinch, she's not worried about the knife, is good to see. But it would, cutting to that shot, because that shot just doesn't fit within the visual language of everything else. That shot would feel like a break in continuity. It would feel like a break in not so much visual continuity or not so much story continuity in terms of where people are standing and like the physicality, but in terms of emotional continuity. To go from the close-ups to go to that, I think would hurt us. Or I think it's not so much hurt us, because again, there are many different ways to make a very good movie out of this footage. It just depends on the choices you make. In this case, I feel like these shots, keeping them isolated from each other, I think is good, because they haven't connected yet visually, and emotionally it keeps them connected. Also, I think we'll get, if we cut to in the wide shot, he pulls the knife and she just kind of doesn't move. In here, I believe in some of these shots, I believe we've got clips of her kind of smirking that we could use as a reaction shot, which would convey the similar thing, that she's not freaked out by the knife. So it was definitely like thinking about that, and looking at that moment. That was a moment I'm like, okay, I want to preserve that idea. That idea is a very good idea to make sure that we convey with a reaction shot or something that she is not worried about the knife. The knife is not something she finds threatening when he's holding it. But it's all Yeah, it's not. Yeah, she's not threatened by him holding it, but it's also it's important to keep the emotional continuity of the scene in this in these shots. I think these shots just visually convey the tone of the movie. I think that Elena and I are going for better than the ones from this angle, and that's why we've only that moment's been cut. These shots have been cut down to just this, if I use that at all. But I wanted to highlight that because it was something that I had a very talented storyteller of mine reach out about and say that's a moment to notice, and something that those shots do convey it the best in terms of which single shot conveys that moment. But I think we can convey the same kind of feeling here with the close-ups without and do it in a way that really is completely tonally consistent with everything else. And I think that's the reason I'm making that choice. And who knows? Like, we may edit this and watch it and be like, oh, we want to see the two of them and the knife in the same shot. Maybe we'll go to that, but we'll see. Okay, here we go. Let's start jumping through the last moment. She had the wallet. Let's continue. Let's see. Real quick in the script. She says, you dropped your wallet. He says, he dropped your wallet. He turns. She's holding his wallet. He reaches for his jacket pocket. He says, damn it. By the way, we're on the last page of the script, so this scene, so we're gonna blow through. He says, damn it. Beat. He reaches for it. She opens it, pulls out his ID. It's interesting that this is the thing that two of them this is the thing that these two actors and Elena worked out together, is the bit where he sort of lunges for it and then he pulls out the knife. Is something the two of them, or the three of them, discovered, like kind of found in their rehearsals or on the day, because it's not really part of it's not as it's a bigger moment here than it in the footage than it is in the script, which is another reason the script is a guide but the footage is gospel. Okay, let's continue. Okay, we left him looking at her. Starts by saying, damn it, let's clean these all to where they...
Arthur Finch from Canada.
Please give me my wallet back, please.
What are you going to steal?
Let's see. There's a moment with the knife that I know is one I want to use.
What are you going to steal? Come on.
That might be the one I want to use.
What are you going to steal? Come on.
Give me my wallet back, please.
What are you going to steal?
That might be the one. There was one of these times where he pulls out the knife that I loved my framing. I think it was that one because it was just...
Can you
Canada.
please give me my wallet back, please?
What are you going to steal?
Give it back.
We don't tip the knife there.
Give it back.
And we pan down. Okay, so yeah, so this is the take that I want to see, that I know I'm going to use. And I talked a bit about fixed points. This is a fixed point. So let's continue. The first things first. Going back here. She's waving the knife. He's looking back. Okay, she's waving the wallet. So we need to find a take of him that looks like he's just seen that. That's where this left off. Yeah, okay, so we got that. She grabs the wallet.
Arthur Finn.
So yeah, we can pull this stuff all back here. Cool. So I know I'm using this moment. But I didn't really love the rest of it. Let's watch the others. Didn't love that.
Drop your wallet. Arthur Finch from Canada.
Please give me.
Arthur Finch from Canada.
Please.
Arthur Finch from Canada.
Please give me my wallet back, please.
What am I stealing? What am I stealing?
Okay, I like that one. I think that one's.
Arthur Finch from Canada.
Please give me my wallet back, please.
What am I stealing?
Okay. I think that's my favorite one of them. I think I like his delivery. That movement is. That movement, it's either that one or it's this first one. Nope, not the first one. Second one. Because I love the way he, like. I don't love that delivery, but I love.
Arthur Finch.
I love that he like he jumps and he's responding to the sound, but I think this one here, the response to the sound is good. This one he's quieter, but also like
From Canada.
Please.
you see him reacting, and you see the moment before in this one more than clear than you see it in the others.
Arthur Finch.
That might work. Let's go. Let's put this one in for starters and see if it ends up being the one.
Arthur.
I'm going to.
Arthur Finch from Canada. From Canada.
Please give me my wallet back.
From Canada.
Please give me my wallet back, please.
What am I stealing?
Please.
What am I?
My wallet back, please.
What am I stealing? Arthur Finch.
Let's get her reaction here.
Arthur Finn. Doing myself. Wow.
Let's take this, drop that into outtakes because that was kind of cute. Same one.
Wow.
Oh, no, we already had that in the outtakes. Never mind. Moving on.
Wow.
Okay, I think we got the best one. And don't get me wrong, honestly, there's like some moments here where the two of them are moving opposite each other. I do wish we had a two shot that I could cut to, Thematically, I'm not sure I would because again, I kind of want to save the same way you save the first close up. The saving the first two shot is something that I think is important, especially in a movie like a thriller where the visual language I feel like it's a little more heightened and it's a little more there's a little more you're a little more reliant on it. Um, but the two shot we have, just by virtue of the way we shot it and the dimensions of the room and the rules we set up for ourselves, the two shot we have doesn't communicate what we needed to communicate. So I would rather stay in this shot and have the moment not work exactly the same way as I would imagine it, as I would prefer it to, rather than cut away and risk losing the energy.
Arthur Finch. From Canada. From Canada. Arthur Finch.
Let's bring all this stuff closer. Yeah, no point in having this much dead space.
Dropped your wallet. Wow. Arthur Finch. From Canada.
Please give me.
Canada. Arthur Finch. From Canada.
I actually like this take for this moment here.
Arthur Finch. From Canada. Arthur Finch. From Canada.
Take this whole thing. And this is the beauty of filmmaking, because we can take different parts from different takes and make a somewhat cohesive seeming whole. And it's the first time on this stream of this project I get to use the word verisimilitudinous, which means it's not real, but it seems like it could be.
Arthur Finch.
So this is going to go after that.
From
Please
Canada.
give me my wallet back, please.
Take the audio off of that. It almost spikes the camera there. I'm going to cut before that happens, just so it doesn't seem weird. There's going to be a little bit more to do here, but I'm going to just get this together.
Arthur Finch. From Canada. From Canada. From From Canada. Canada.
Please give me my wallet back, please.
Check the other takes real quick on that. That's that one.
From
Can you
Canada.
please give me my wallet back, please?
is a little soft there. Don't love it.
Arthur Finch from Canada.
Can you
Canada.
please give me my wallet back, please?
Canada.
Please give me my wallet back, please.
What are you going to steal?
Let me grab part of this one.
From Canada.
Please give me my wallet back, please.
I like that vocal delivery better than the other one, barely. The thing that makes them both great is in both of them he leans into the double please there because he's from Canada and he's polite.
From
Can you
Canada.
please give me my wallet back, please?
From Canada.
Please give me my wallet back, please.
I think this might sync up. I might be able to get away with this.
From
Can you
Canada.
please,
From Canada.
please give me my wallet back, please?
So the question is, can I do this? Start with that.
Canada.
Please give me my wallet back, please.
From Canada.
Please give me my wallet back, please.
It's pretty close.
From Canada.
Please give me.
Close.
From Canada.
Please give me my wallet back, please.
Split the difference. Go 2 frames.
From Canada.
Please give me my wallet back, please.
From Canada.
Please give me my wallet back.
From Canada.
Please give me my wallet back, please.
I think that works. I can get away with that with a little bit of tweaking. So,
Canada.
Please give me my wallet back, please.
a little bit of that rough desperation in him. I like that.
Arthur Finch from Canada. From Canada. Canada.
This
From Canada. Canada. Canada.
It's a little choppy, but I think I can live with that for now. Let's pull this back to here.
From Canada.
Please give me my paw back.
From Canada.
Please give me my paw back. Please. Paw back, please. Please give me my paw back, please.
Back to here. Let's continue.
Arthur Finch. From Canada.
Please give me my paw back.
Canada.
Let me check one thing. One thing that we did agree on, me and Elena, was that some of these shots are useful for, might be useful for audio. And Elena,
Arthur Finch. From Canada. Arthur Finch. From Canada. Arthur Finch. From Canada. Arthur Finch. From Canada.
that actually might work. Let me grab that. This is a thing that a lot of one of the jokes about editing is that, or comments about editing is that if you're having actors, and this isn't 100% true obviously, but if you're having actors argue on set, you don't always have them actually, like, you have them take pauses between lines so they're not actually overlapping unless you're shooting with multiple cameras, so you have a camera on everybody so you know you can cut between it on the same audio. That's the director Robert Altman is famous for letting actors like overlap their lines in dialogue.
From Canada.
But let's see. So I just need these guys. We're gonna put a cut. I just want the bit with him saying "can you." It's amazing what you're gonna take out of a thing. So let's go ahead and we're gonna delete everything else. Take this and cut it and bring it back into the scene. It's back here. Let's paste that right about here just for now. Cool.
Canada.
Bring this over. That hopefully lines up pretty well.
Canada.
Please give me.
Canada. From Canada.
Please give me my paw back.
From Canada.
Please give me my paw back, please.
From Canada.
Please give me my paw back, please.
From Canada.
Please give me my.
What's that popping sound from? Is that down here? Yeah, that sounds like it's coming from this one, so let's take that off. Yeah, so I'll do that mute and save. Alright, save real quick. It's been a while.
From Canada.
Please give me my paw back, please.
Canada.
Please give me my paw back, please.
If that works, I think he leans into the double please there pretty well.
From Canada.
Please give me my paw back, please. My paw back, please. My paw back, please.
Cut right there. Audio ends where we need it. Cool. Delete that. Save. We're gonna continue on.
Arthur.
Where's that outtake? actually might work for something. Let me grab that. It's over here. Maybe he doesn't want to cut up clips. I promise I'm not reusing this clip to, like, just replay Annabelle almost dropping the wallet. I think this moment's a good little visual. Seriously, on the magnitude of a few frames. How many frames is that? Like 6 frames, like a quarter of a second, but that might be enough. I just cut. Might be enough just for a quick little beat. Paste. He lunges. We see her. Yeah, we need to cut there somewhere, but let's see. Actually, I can just extend it. Can't ever drop it. So. Might work. It's hard to tell with the sound being choppy because we haven't. Obviously, it's not my department. I don't know if we need to see her open the wallet or not. Let me pull this back a little bit just out of curiosity. Extra space there. Might work actually. I kind of like that.
From Canada.
Could you please give me my wallet back, please?
Yeah, the rhythm on that feels really good. At least it does right now. I gotta watch this in daylight as well. Okay. Here we go. Now we get to.
Arthur Finch. From Canada. What are we going to steal? What are we going to steal?
Please?
What are we going to steal?
love actors who slow blink. Because it makes it so easy to just be like, oh, no, he's not blinking. He was looking at her the whole time. And then he just chooses to close his eyes there.
Arthur, come on. Arthur. Arthur, come on. Arthur, come on. Arthur,
Let's check the other takes.
Arthur. From Canada. What is you? Arthur.
Yeah, that placid little smirk works really well for her in this moment.
Arthur.
That's pretty good, actually. I like that. Let's look at this one, the other one we've got.
Arthur, come on.
That feels like a friendship thing. Let's go with that. Cut there. Pull this stuff all the way to the other side of this guy.
What are we going to steal? What are we going to steal?
Cut this quicker.
What are we going to steal?
Please give me my wallet back, please.
What are we going to steal? What are we going to steal?
By the way, this right now is the typical typical thing for editors. You sit here and you watch takes over and over and over again, and you tweak tiny things, and you try to get little bits to make any kind of sense. So.
Please give me my wallet back, please.
What are we going to steal? Arthur, come on. Arthur Finch. Arthur Finch. From Canada.
Could you please give me my...
Arthur Finch. From Canada.
Could you please give me my wallet back, please?
What are we going to steal? Going to steal. Arthur, come.
I'm not sure we need this reaction part, but I'm gonna keep it in for now.
Arthur, come on.
Something, just a side thing to note about if you want to edit stuff to make it sound quicker, take off dead space at the beginning of takes.
Arthur, come on.
Let's take a look at the next part. Next part. Now we're into some important stuff of what do you want from me. We already saw that one. Let's look here.
You want from me?
A little too casual already.
Please give me...
Arthur,
What do you want from me? Why? What do you want from me?
Actually, that's not bad.
What do you want from me?
would you rather ask me?
That's better. Much better. Back to her.
Would you rob my husband?
Look at that subtle physicality. takes. I like that one. I like that reaction a lot. I wish the camera didn't move, which is on me. So let me see if there's anything that has her physicality and camera work that I like.
Would you rob my husband? Would you rob my husband? Please. Would you rob my husband?
I think the take we looked at here is the best one.
Please. Would you rob my husband?
Yeah, I think this is the one to go with. This is. Other ones are good. This one just feels. It kind of straddles of the three. There's one that sounds very. There's one where like it sounds very femme fatale, in the point that if someone said that, if I heard her say that, I'd be like, okay, this is definitely a trap. There's another one that sounds a little bit too. The other one sounds kind of the other end of the spectrum. Sounds very genuine. Sounds more genuine, where she sounds like she's legitimately asking this question. This one I think kind of straddles the line, which is kind of what we want, because we, like Arthur, are not sure if she's. Yeah, if this is true or not.
Would you rob my husband? Would you rob my husband? Would you rob my husband?
Note from the script says beat, which means we want to put a beat there, which we want to go back to Arthur and see his reaction to when she says that, when she asks that question.
Would you rob my husband? Please. Would you rob my husband? Please.
All right, so we've got the. That's not bad. The kind of serious, confused, dramatic whisper. This one's a little more of a comedic beat to it.
You want from me?
Would you rob my husband? Please.
I like the shifty eye look. It's very. To me, I'm like he's expecting like a hidden camera crew.
Arthur.
What do you want from me?
Would you rob my husband?
All right, we went big. That's good.
I hate him.
Why? What? Why?
And there's full on disgust.
What?
Also, notice something real quick. Again, I'm trying to edit, not talk too much, but notice the different reactions here. So, like, the eyebrows come down, and he's like internally trying to figure it out. He doesn't move a lot. Here,
Would you rob my husband?
eyebrows come down a little bit, not to the same degree. Keeping it a little more internal still.
Just give me. I'm.
Here, watch this
What do
reaction.
you want from me?
Would you rob my husband?
I love like just the visual reaction
What
here.
do you want from me?
Would you rob my husband?
Like the eyebrows barely move, but just you see his eyes kind of. And this one he went the opposite direction where he went big.
What?
Let's see.
Would you rob my husband?
What? Why?
This is an important moment because now his reaction is going to tell us how we should feel about this. This is 21. Curiosity. Let me pull up Elena's favorite here. Give me one sec, guys. I'm just gonna pull this up so I can see what Elena's pick for this thing was. That's wrong. Scene 2. Here we go. You guys can see what we're looking at here. This is shot. Let's go back here. This is the Arthur close-up. So, projects. Here we go. So, first take, great. Arthur very quiet. Like the first half and the fourth take, but didn't label any of these as pink, which are her favorites. So that's fine. Okay. So I think I'm gonna go take one on this.
I hate my husband. I
Not that one. Take one here. I already put this. Let's see. We'll take this. Put this down here in the scene. Bring it back. So we take that. Paste it here, and then I'm gonna look for the moment where she says please. I like it here.
hate him. I hate my husband. I hate him. Let's help each other. It'd be a really huge favor, and besides, you wouldn't even know where to look. I'm Madeline.
Hey, we did a reset at the end, so we grab that.
Besides, you wouldn't even know where to look. I'm Madeline.
Yeah, that move forward is pretty perfect.
Look. The look. I'm Madeline.
So I know that's my ending. I know I like that. I think delete a lot of this. Let's watch the other takes with her. Right now, this is, again, we as the audience aren't sure whether we trust her on this one or not, but even if she is a femme fatale and she is lying, femme fatales lie. Femme fatales are femme fatales because they are good at lying. So let's look at.
I hate.
Let's make this sound good.
I hate him. I hate my husband. I hate him. Let's help each other. It'd be a huge favor, and besides, you wouldn't even know where to look. I'm Madeline. hate him. That's how much. It'd be a huge favor, and besides, you wouldn't even know where to look. I'm out of it.
It's another good ending. Elena's notes on the Madeline close-ups. Let's see. Good moment second half, like the second and third takes best. I agree.
My husband. I hate him. That's how much. I hate him. That's how much. It'd be a huge favor. And besides, you wouldn't even know where to look. I'm out of it.
I like that she doesn't blink there. Okay, cool. Let's cut this. I think we're gonna do. This is. There's a couple good versions of that. Let's paste this in here.
I hate him. I hate my husband. I hate him. Let's help each other. That's how much. Husband. I hate him. Let's help each other. It'd be a really huge favor, and besides, it'd be a really huge favor. Let's help each other.
Let's start cutting these together. Let's lose the audio there. So it'll be room 10 when we replace it.
She called my husband. She called my husband. She called my husband.
Grab the I hate him from here. Sometimes I try to kind of tweak the pacing a little bit to what I think the story needs. Other times it's nice just to be able to listen to the actors and see, okay, you said why there, and then you decided to pause. I'm gonna let you have that pause.
She called my husband.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. That reaction shot does not help. So we're gonna unlink both of these. I'm gonna pull this back here. Delete that and let this play the whole time.
She called my husband.
of movement, kind of a little bit there. There we go.
Would you grab my husband? Please. My husband.
Let's take off a little bit of space there. There we go. A little bit, tiny bit less. A couple of frames.
I hate him.
No idea if this has too much dead space. It's a thing that's, but first takes and first assembly cuts are the place where you want to kind of showcase as much, like, the assembly cut is always almost always the longest cut of the film. It's always the one that's got a lot of dead air in it, because you kind of figuring out the pacing, and then you start saying, okay, this moment doesn't need to be this long.
I hate him. I hate my husband. I hate him. Let's help each other. Let's help each other.
I really like that. I like the delivery of the second half of this thing second half of this little speech in here in this second take. But this take, I love seeing her go from
I hate him.
go to that to
Let's help each other.
that emotional transition there makes her more interesting and more dangerous.
It'd be a huge favor. Let's help each other. It'd be a huge favor. It'd be a huge favor. And besides, you wouldn't even know where to look.
Let's watch the other one then. Yeah, stop that. Just to double check, make sure I'm making the right choice here.
Let's help each other. It'd be a really huge favor. And besides, you wouldn't even know where to look. Huge favor. And besides, it'd be a really huge favor. And besides, you wouldn't even know where to look. I'm out of it. Let's help each other. It'd be a huge favor, and besides, you wouldn't even know where to look.
I want some part of this.
Really huge favor, and besides, you wouldn't. Really huge favor. Huge favor. It'd be a huge favor. It'd be a really huge favor. Besides, you wouldn't even know. And besides, it'd be a really huge favor. And besides, you wouldn't. A really huge favor. And besides. Huge favor, and besides, you wouldn't. Huge favor, and besides, you wouldn't even know where to look. Let's help each other. It'd be a really huge favor, and besides, you wouldn't even know where to look. And besides, you wouldn't even know where to look. And besides, you wouldn't even know where to look. I'm out of it. Where to look. It'd be a really huge favor, and besides, you wouldn't even know where to look. It'd be a really huge favor. It'd be a really huge favor, and
There we go. That's how you do that. And then I'm gonna cover that with a shot of him. But yes.
it'd be a really huge favor, and besides, you wouldn't even know where to look.
Yes. So I can delete this. Now we've got
I'm out of it.
she moves up.
I'm out.
This is the one we redid, yeah?
Right.
Yep, cool. Redid.
I'm out of it.
Good take. Cool. So now I can pretty much clear out. What's this?
It'd be a really huge favor, and besides,
That's those two takes. Get rid of those. So we're down to here because I like the ending of one of these. Link and cut. Down to the scenes. We're gonna try different. We're gonna try a couple different versions of this because
that's how much. It'd be a huge favor, and besides, you wouldn't even know where to look. I'm out of it. I'm out of it. I'm out of it. I wouldn't even know where to look.
Oop, wrong thing. Let's delete the right thing. There we go.
Besides, you wouldn't even know where to look. I'm out of it. And besides, you wouldn't even know where to look.
Also, I kind of like this last one here.
I'm out of it. I'm out of it.
Visual language versus emotional performance.
I'm out of it. I'm out of it. I'm out of it. I'm out of it. Favor, and besides, you wouldn't even know where to look. I'm out of it. I'm out of it.
Oh, good. We've hit the part where the part of the project where her saying her name over and over again makes it sound like gibberish to me.
Where to look. I'm out of it.
All right, this one's going on the RHSC, but like, yeah, no, I'm going with that one because it sounds more like. It sounds more thrillery. It sounds more. It keeps the tone right. Okay, which one had the good wallet rack focus? The second take there. Cool. All right, good first half on the last take. So probably our second or third take, or the first or second takes are the ones to look at here. We know we like this. That's second take. Let's look at the third. I thought I got the rack focus a little better each time.
I'm out of it.
Yep, third take.
I'm out of it. I'm out of it.
that's my ending. I think that's probably my best one. Let's go ahead and cut that. So I don't think I'm gonna end up using that 2-shot. I think that 2-shot is gonna remain a mystery forever. Paste. Still need to cover up with some reactions, but this might be. Let's see.
Where to look? I'm out of it.
This moment with a little bit of music ramping into it could be really cool. Yeah, that whole moment plays really well with him. Alright, so I need some reactions, and then we're out. Okay. So the shot we took the Y from was shot 18, or clip 18, so let's look at that.
That sounds right. It'd be a huge favor. Since you wouldn't even know where to look. I'm out of it.
It's okay. Let's look here.
I hate my husband. I hate him. It'd be a huge favor. Besides, you wouldn't know where to look. I'm out of it.
That moment could work really well. Let's take a look here.
It'd be a huge favor. I hate my husband. I hate him. It'd be a
That real quick, just 'cause I'm organizing right now. best, I think. I agree with Elena.
Right.
So this one I can unlock the audio.
Be a huge favor. You wouldn't know where to.
Yeah, I think this is.
Where to look. I'm not.
Yeah, there's a lot to like in that moment. We're gonna take that one. Alright, coming back to our scene here. We're gonna paste this. Watch the movie here. Cool. Okay.
Him. I hate.
Good moment of movement here. Just a little bit. And just that little bit at the end there. I think will work well for when she steps up. Because she's moving and he's a little bit wary.
Know where to look. I'm out of it. I'm out of it.
Yeah, we'll do some reframing on both of these guys.
I'm out of it.
Cut there. Extend. Just cover the up, did I? No, okay.
I'm out of it. I'm out of it. I'm out of it. I'm out of it. I'm out of it.
Cool, that works. Have to cover this beat up, but that's fine. It's doable.
Favor, and besides, you wouldn't even know where to look.
Very good point.
Really huge favor, and besides, you wouldn't even know where to look. I hate him. I hate my husband. Maybe a huge favor, that's not where to look. I'm not there, I don't know where to look.
Pull that back, because that's him looking down when she offers the wallet.
Maybe a huge favor, that's not where to look. I hate my husband. I hate him. I hate him. I hate him.
Cut there. This back. a little bit stagey, but we'll try it for now.
I hate it. I hate. I hate my husband. I hate him. I hate. I hate him. I hate him. I hate my husband. I hate my husband. I hate him. Let's help each other. It'd be a really huge favor. I'm sorry. It'd be a really huge favor, and besides, you wouldn't even know where to look. I'm out of it.
That works pretty well. I want to make sure we still get his reaction, and we're still sort of in his perspective so far. And honestly, we spent the whole first half of the movie really in Arthur's perspective before we really, because we trust. Not sure we trust him more than Madeline at first, but we don't know if the stuff Madeline is saying, like, she's the one saying stuff that we can't confirm yet. So for now, we need Arthur's reactions to kind of gauge where he is at this.
I hate him. I hate my husband. I hate him. I hate him.
Pull that back a little bit.
I hate him.
Nope, take it back. I don't want that where it was.
I hate him. I hate him. I hate my husband. I hate him. I hate my husband. I hate him. Let's help each other. It'd be a really huge favor, and besides, you wouldn't even know where to look. I'm out of it.
Okay, cool. Let's take a quick break so I can stretch a bit, and then we're gonna come back. We've got a cut of the scene. We're gonna match it with the other scene, and we're gonna talk about reframing. So hold for a second and a half. Okay, we're back. Stood up, got a chance to stretch a little bit. Coming on an hour and 41 minutes, which is pretty good. All right. Now let's take a quick peek at this, and then we're gonna talk about reframing. Let's watch kind of the whole conversation the two of them have, so we get a sense of what they're like.
Yes. Well, I wouldn't say.
How exciting! This is just like Dateline.
What? No, it's not.
Wait. Shh. Hi, somebody's coming. Matthew's next door, darling.
Also, the creaky floor makes a nice, like, makes for a nice sound effect there.
I saw you at the tree line. let you in myself. You are to this. What? No, 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 stay.
Ma'am, all due respect. Good night.
Drop your wallet. Arthur Finch. From Canada.
Could you please give me my wallet back, please?
What are you going to steal? Arthur. Come on.
What do you want from me?
Would you rob my husband? Please.
I'm gonna reevaluate these moments some.
I hate him.
Next time I look at it.
I hate my husband. I hate him.
Why am I not just putting this full screen?
Let's help each other. It'd be a really huge favor, and besides, you wouldn't even know where to look. I'm Madeline.
Cool. All right. So, yeah, it's definitely needs some polish, but for a first cut and a first assembly, it's not too bad. Let's do this. Okay, so we're gonna take out. We know what to do in the RHSC. It's gonna be there's the intro stuff. How do you put the rest of the stuff in there? No, not yet. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's find that stuff. Put it in. These shots here.
I'm Madeline.
Maybe. Big maybe on this one.
I'm Madeline.
Yeah, I'm gonna try putting this one in just to see. Kept. Not even just to shorten this moment a tiny bit. Just to give them that two shot, because that might be important. Paste. Nope, too long.
I'm Madeline. I'm Madeline.
Let's go off the beginning, because I want that here.
I'm Madeline.
That little moment of connection. This moment actually works fairly well here. Start like this. Oop, deleted the wrong thing. Couple of frames off that. This might actually work. But I'm so on the fence right now.
I'm Madeline.
matter. I'm gonna pull this up. I'm gonna pull this back. Turn this top thing off for 1 sec. Alright, 2 versions. I'm gonna put them both right here just so I know the timing. Okay, cool. So everything else, this stuff all gets deleted. This stuff, same. I may go through tomorrow during the day and put in those B-roll shots just to see if they end up working. Let's go to the end of this. Paste back to here. This is the other Madeline stuff, which we're not using, so we can delete that. And the next thing out here is the, is there anything else out here? No, that's it. So if I go to the end of my timeline, cool. Alright, so let's, I'm on the fence about where their first 2 shots should be, whether it's here with, or it's in this moment, or it's in the next. That's an Elena question, so it'll be a question to ask Elena. And I also just wanted to look at from multiple times a day and see which one fits. But now I get to do 2 more things before I wrap up tonight. B-roll can sit over here for a second. So the first thing I get to do, and this is the thing I've been looking forward to, is we get to take the scene we did we started this with, and we can put it, and we can overlap it. And we can see how these scenes now play together. So, here, if I remember correctly, we kept, we went from this nod that he does. I kind of like the idea of taking that out. I kind of like the idea of her just start, we cut to this, and she just starts moving. He makes eye contact, and she's just great. Time to move. So let's delete that. This is again why we shoot overlap. If you remember, if you were on the stream for the beginning of that, this first take, if I double click into it, no, it's not gonna, it's just gonna show me what I've got here. This first take, if I go to this first shot of scene 3, technically, go to the workroom for it. Here we go. It's actually this shot here. I think it's our 3rd take. But this shot starts with the wallet. She hands him the wallet. He thinks about it. He closes the door. He then turns to her and nods, and then they move. So that's when I talk about shooting overlap. Thank you, Premier. Let's save. When I talk about shooting overlap, that's what I mean. Is you overlap the moment so that if I wanted to cut in on the wallet or cut in when he closes the door, I could. I think this is the better way to do it. Yeah. Yeah, it gives us this little moment of reset, but doesn't give us much. And I like that. Doesn't need more. He looks at her. He doesn't need to nod. We don't need to see the door close again. We can just go right into this, and now we're entering the party. Cool. I like it. Okay, so there's that. The next thing we're going to talk about is reframing, because that's an important. Actually, the next thing I want to do is I want to see what this looks like with a really rough color grade, like a super fucking rough color grade. Let's see what this looks like. This is going to be way too dark, but that's fine. A lot of this looks good. Okay. So here we go. Real quick, I'm going to just turn that off, and I'll bring it to full screen. Let's watch. This is a much more saturated color grade than I think we're probably going to start with. We might get there eventually, but man, that outside light really does look like the moon in reflections. That makes me really happy. But yeah, I think we're definitely going to pull the saturation down here, and probably pull the contrast down. This is a little bit too dark, a little too contrasty for the start of this. Yeah, contrast is a little too rough, but doesn't look bad, honestly.
Yes. Well, I wouldn't say.
I'm excited.
interesting thing is like looking at it, like I mean our Knives Out was one of our reference shoots for reference movies for this, and even though that cinematography there is fairly high contrast, it's fairly low saturation. It's not this. This is a much more saturated look right now, and so we're going to be pulling this down a bit because this is a bit much right here. And obviously adjusting to match everything.
I would have let you in myself. You are Artemis.
Makes both their eyes really pop.
What? No, stay.
Ma'am, all due respect.
You dropped your wallet. Arthur Finch. From Canada.
Could you please give me my wallet back, please?
I need to trim that up a bit.
Arthur, come on. Check out my husband.
Yeah, with a rough color grade, this is looking really good.
I hate him. I hate my husband. I hate him. Let's help each other. It'd be a really huge favor, and besides, you wouldn't even know where to look. I'm out of it.
Yeah, there's that jump there, whether or not I end up using the two shot or not. Get to watch him make a decision. This is glitching a bit because it's technically a low res render, and the more you ask a render to do, the more it, at least without actually, the more I ask Premiere's kind of preview window to play, the more it's going to be a little bit fuzzy. But there you go, he moves into the light. Yeah, he gets some really nice shadows on her. All right, so that looks pretty good in terms of just a rough color grade. I'm really happy with that. Now I can pull this back to the beginning. Clear that out. I can pull this base grade off for a sec. But let's talk reframing. So here, this is one of the reasons I have these guides on here, because right now, so we've already talked about left and right, left being Arthur and right being Madeline. As if you're reading a detective novel and you want to keep turning the page and going from left to right. So,
I saw you at the tree line. I would have let you in myself.
all right. So starting off, notice this. And this kind of only comes into play once we start actually doing the close-ups here, because the rest of it's kind of already kind of sorted itself out. So notice here, his eyes are really low. They're kind of down by this. They're down by this cross beam. I guess would be our x-axis. Even his eyes are even cutting into it. Versus her,
I saw you at the tree line.
she's way up here. So the two of them, I'm gonna check with Elena and see if my analytical decision or analytical thought to keep this way is too distracting. Because if anything's distracting, adjust it. For as much as I'm a huge fan of high-minded ideas, if it's not totally there, if they don't come across clearly, and they become a distraction, they don't do you any good, and they hurt you. But yeah, so his eyes are low, hers are high.
I saw you at the tree line. I would have let you in myself.
Then he comes up a bit. He comes up a bit,
You are a genius.
and now their eye lines are pretty much matched. He comes up to there, or their eye lines are pretty close to matching here. If we go here versus there, that's pretty good. His eye line's actually a little high there, which is fine. I can bring it down just a touch. There we go. So now they're seeing eye to eye, which is simple enough.
What? No, stay.
Little bit of chaos. He's still there. She's staying in her spot.
Drop your wallet.
Again, keeping them in the same sides, keeping his head in the top frame. And also, we're talking about relative size. The two of them here are about the same size in the frame. They're both kind of taking up their half. Like, he's got a little bit of the headroom there that she doesn't have, but they're about the same size, and that's important. Right now he's
Arthur Finch from Kid.
I gotta tweak this a little bit because we see him. We kind of come back and land on him, then we do it again. So let's pull a little bit of that off, kind of like that.
Arthur Finch from Canada.
Could you please give me my wallet back?
So that's where his head is. His head is almost the whole size.
What are you going to steal?
All right, so with her, I'm gonna make her shot a little bit closer. I'm gonna go to 115. Bring this down a bit. So again, it's trying to get their eye lines to mostly match. Comparatively, let's see. That's pretty good.
What are you going to
And then she brings her head up, which I can't go too much further down, but
steal?
and again, she sorta has the upper hand on him. I'm gonna bring this into 115 as well. Let's go 110. Nope, that's just 10%. Let's try 110. That seems like a better number. There we go. Bring him over just a touch. I can bring him up a bit so that they're closer on equal planes. Kind of right along the bridge of the nose, more or less. Except, well. Alright, now I'm going to really quickly copy this one and paste the attributes so that they match.
Arthur.
Same deal with this guy. I'm going to copy and paste. Okay.
Arthur.
Paste again. Gonna move her over a little bit so that she's still kind of maintaining that space.
Arthur. Arthur.
This shot needs to be closer. We take this to 125. Islands, pretty good.
Arthur. Come on.
There we go. A little bit of movement gives me an excuse to kind of reset this. We got tense, and then she diffused it, so we can go back to our regular framing. He's there. Line right under his nose. I'm going to bring her in to 115 again. Bring her over as far as I can, kind of like that. Bring her down a little bit. So the two of them are, again, eye lines in the pretty similar place. Now she's asking him for something, so her eyes go down a little bit. His are a little bit higher up. That's okay. All right, and this shot, I'm gonna copy and paste the attributes here. Then I'm gonna bring this to 125. I'm gonna make this close because this is the truth moment. It's right there. We're gonna bring her up. All right, can of right about to there. So this is the truth moment. This is them seeing eye to eye. This is them actually, she's saying a thing that, as far as we know, is true, and he believes it. That's the important thing.
I hate him. I hate.
Right, her spot there needs to be a little bit lower.
I hate my husband.
Good.
I hate him. Let's help each other. It'd be a really huge favor, and besides, you wouldn't.
These are all about the same. Yep. Probably wants to do like a slow zoom here, just because we do cut it out and back, but we're not really doing zooms in this movie, so I'm gonna leave that off unless Elena tells me otherwise. Actually, we're not doing zooms, but a little bit of a push. We are doing dollies. So, you know, I'm gonna do a little bit of a push in. I'm gonna go from 125 and lock and keyframe the position. Let's pull this back. I'm gonna go to like 130 and 135. Go there. Get to the end here, see what this looks like. I think it works. Okay, so we're gonna push that all the way there. See how noticeable this is.
I hate him. Let's help each other.
It's not super noticeable. I think it works.
I hate him.
Having that reaction shot in between. I think it'll make the zoom less noticeable, but we do.
I hate my husband.
Just watch this. I'm getting that sort of feeling of we're getting in closer to her, which makes sense. She's revealing something. So we kind of landed on 135. And that's where we should land for this. Her name. This one should match. I think it's about 127, give or take. Kind of right into the nose, I think. And then same deal. We're going to copy and paste.
I'm out of it.
I can bring this shot in a little bit, like 109, 108. Bring it over just a bit, bring it down just a bit, not much. She's a little bigger, he can be a little bigger here. He can go to 12. It's down as far as I can, bring it over as far as I can. Like that. There we go. That line there is pretty much right across the bridge of their noses. Reaches for the wallet, which now kind of does land a little more centered, which is good. Of course, that's the top of the frame, so I can't move that any more than it already is. Take a couple of frames off of this. Let her again, cutting on movement as much as I can a little bit. Come on. Look. This middle area, get rid of that. There we go. There we go. Find that rhythm. Cool. Alright. Cool. And that is the scene so far. That's where we're at. We're about 5 minutes in. We haven't edited the opening scene yet, so this is running a little bit longer than the script had it running. Partially because Partially because I know for an assembly cut I add a lot of dead air, and I'm sure we're going to go back and be like, oh, trim that, trim that, trim that, trim that, trim that, because that always happens. It's happening on Devil's Playground right now. But also because this moment here, like, yeah, technically, so we hit 4 minutes right when they, we hit 3:45 right here. And if you follow the Hollywood rule of a page a minute, give or take, not a thing to strive for, just a very rough estimate. If it doesn't mean your movie is wrong if you're not hitting that, but if you are, if that's where you, like, just if I'm going to take that as a metric to measure by for the moment, top of page 4 of the script, so right when minute 4 should be starting, is the hallway bit. So with an additional 30 seconds at the beginning, we're actually not doing too badly here. And then this whole sequence is a lot longer because in the script it's 2 or 3 lines of action, and here it's a lot longer because we decided, because it's leaning into the atmosphere and leaning into the importance of sneaking through the party. So with that done, we're going to save this, and yeah, now we've now introduced the plot. We've introduced kind of Arthur's and Madeline's dilemmas and where they're at and what they need. We've done some reframing to talk about how we can visually make these characters see eye to eye at various moments, and moments when one of them's in power, one of them isn't. And yeah, that's about where we're at for the night. So as always, thank you for joining. I'm sorry to looks like someone else just jumped on the stream. I need to stop watching the viewer count. It's messing with my head. But if you did just join, you're coming in right at the end. So I appreciate you joining. Obviously, you can watch the stream if you're interested in it. But yeah, we got a very, very good amount done tonight. We got through this, and I'm gonna watch this 3 or 4 times tomorrow during the day, before I jump into the next spot, which is Wednesday night. So Wednesday night we'll be back working on this movie. I don't know if we'll be doing. It's gonna depend on where I'm at, where my brain's at, what I want to work on. We might do the opening, which is another set of 3 shots to kind of just establish and set us up. But part of me likes to wait on the opening. Part of me likes to let the opening be one of the last things I do, unless I've got a really solid handle on it, because it's fun to sort of like, okay, now let's see what the movie became, and now let's go back and make sure the opening fits, because the opening and the ending are so important. So we'll do that, but we might also jump to the scene after this where they get a shot of him coming through there. Those cool shadows on him. There we go. That's a good still. You can't even see it. What am I doing? But anyway, here I'll show you. It's a good still. It's a good action shot for him. Anyway, back to me. Yeah. So we might do the next scene on the staircase as we work our way up to Madeline's husband's study and the majority of our movie. So, yes, on that note, once again, thank you for joining. Thank you for being part of this. Thank you for sitting with me while I tweak it and while I work on this project. Thank you, Premiere Saving. Yeah, it brings me joy just doing this and sharing it, and yeah, on that note, I'm going to check out. I have to, talking of credits, I had a really cool idea for the credits on Devil's Playground, so I am going to go light some stuff on fire and film it in slow motion. Don't you wish you were here? My weather forecast just tells me it's humid outside. Well, that's just fun. Anyway, I'm going to clock out. I'm going to go work on some other stuff, and I will see you guys. If I'm on here tomorrow night, it's photo editing. I don't know if I will be. I do have a project that might be finishing up tomorrow, so my attention might be on that. But if I'm on here tomorrow night, it's probably going to be some photo editing. And yeah, then regardless of that, Wednesday night, we're back on here, and we're doing more B52, and we will continue the saga of Arthur and Madeline and their capers. So, have a good night, make awesome things, be kind to each other, keep your minds open, and help out when you can, because we all need it from time to time, and probably more often than we like to admit. So, on that note, stay safe, be kind, good night.